Hey y'all, it's me, Malibu Darby. Welcome to my channel. Today I am finally doing the highly requested brow tutorial. People always ask me, how do you do your brows? What products do you like to use in your brows? How do they always look the same as they looked before? Do you use the stencil or is there art? Well, how does that happen? It's trial and error. So again, this is not how I do my brows every single day, all the time. It changes as products change, as my life changes, as my brow hair changes. But I'm going to try to give you guys the basic tutorial on how I generally do my eyebrows and the products that I generally use right now. So if you're interested to see how these brows happen, please stay tuned. If you enjoy this video or these kinds of videos, don't forget to like, give this a thumbs up, and also subscribe to this video. We are so close to 4,000. So thank you guys again so much, and let's get into some brows. Okay y'all, so let's get started on eyebrows. I know I look like 10 different kinds of crazy right now, but this is how I look when I'm about to do my eyebrows. So my hair is marinating, I'm not dressed yet, anything like that, but just to keep it really simple, if I'm doing my eyebrows, typically I use one of 3 products. So I'm either going to use a powder. Generally I like to use the ABH powder duo. There we go. This is an ebony, so it's like a dark and a light brown, black brown kind of powder. I like to do a pencil. This is the Fenty brow pencil. This is in the shade Deep Black. I like my brows really dark because my hair is typically really dark. Or I use a gel. Sometimes I do the ABH gel. Right now I've really been loving the I Envy by Kiss brow pomade gel. You guys have seen this in my drugstore video that I did a couple weeks ago, so that's what I've been using recently. Generally, if I'm trying to go for a more natural brow, I will use the pencil or the powder. Those usually give a softer brow. I am going out tonight, so I'm doing more of like a sculpted brow, so I'll probably use a mixture of 2 or 3 of the products. But let me just go ahead and show you what I typically do. No matter what the product is that I use, I generally do like the same process. So for this time, let's see. This is why I said it's hard for me to do a brow tutorial, because I feel like it changes a lot, and sometimes it's rushed, sometimes, you know what I mean? But I've had people ask, like, do you use a stencil? They always look the same. So I'm gonna try to show you guys what I typically do. So the first most important step, not most important, but the first important step of your brows and having your brows look good is to have groomed brows, or at least semi-groomed brows. So if your brows have no shape whatsoever, it's going to make your job a lot harder. So the more groomed that your brows are, I'm doing bangs tonight, that's what's going on with these like flyaways here. The more groomed your brows are, the easier it is for you to enhance the shape of your brows. I'm not drawing on a whole new brow, I'm just taking the shape that I already have and like defining it more. So if you already have that groomed and kind of together, it makes it way easier to do your brows. So get them threaded, waxed, tweezed, shaved, whatever you do. Kind of have it like mine. I probably am gonna have to get them done next week. But I still have my general shape, but I can still see where my arch is going to be. So no matter what I'm using, whether it's a pencil or the gel, I just take either the pencil or my flat tip brush for the gel here, like a nice pointed brush. Always make sure you brush your brows upward first, just to kind of get all the hairs in one direction. And then I always take my pencil or my brush, and I like to start at the middle or the end of the brow. And I like to outline the end, the tail of the brow first. I typically don't like it to go past, I kind of feel like my eye socket has like a set area right here. I don't like for the tail to go past that. And same with the inner corner, I don't like for the end to go past that. So you don't want to end up with a weird like unibrow or with your eyebrow on your edges. So I kind of use my eye socket as my guide of where my brow should start and stop. So I just take the gel, I underline right on the bottom, right where like the last hairs kind of are. I underline the shape, and then I underline the end on the top of the tail. I always like to have a brush that either has this end on it, there we go, or just have a spare wispy kind of brush. A spoolie, you can buy those in packs. I do that a lot of times. I buy spoolies in packs just to have those always handy, because I like to take these the entire time and just keep brushing the product. Sometimes if you put enough product on the brush when you do the end, you can literally just brush that all the way through the front, because you start on the end because you don't want the front to be too harsh. So do you see how I just brushed that product all the way to the front? I literally only did the tail, and then I brushed the product to the front. So I do that, and I do that to avoid, you never want to like draw a square on the front of your eyebrow. We've all seen somebody with square front eyebrows and it just looks crazy. So I do that to like keep the front of the eyebrow soft and still natural. So Fenty, the brush, has this kind of brush instead of like that spoolie. I use that and a spoolie because I still feel like you need it. But if I was to use just the pencil, I would do the same thing, where I start on the end, outline it, and then fill it in. So I'm just gonna do this eyebrow, and then you guys will see the finished, before the concealer, the kind of shape of the brow. I honestly don't pay that much attention like before they're sculpted, because you can make them match with the concealer. But I'm sure y'all have already heard like eyebrows are sisters, not twins. Sometimes they're cousins. So I don't worry about in this stage trying to make them look perfect, because once you sculpt them out with a concealer, you can kind of get your arch to match, clean up any like underneath, any extra areas where the pencil or the brow gel has kind of like went a little haywire. You can kind of clean that up in the process. So for the sculpting part, which is really important, I recommend, if you are just starting out, using a cream concealer. So I like to use the MAC Studio Sculpt Concealer. For me, I think that cream concealer is a little bit harder as far as like the texture, so it doesn't move around as much, so you're less likely to like mess up and kind of shift around and get concealer in your eyebrow and make the line not straight and that kind of thing. So I recommend a cream concealer for that. If you feel like you're a little bit more, you know, pro at concealer and all that, then you can use like a regular concealer, like a liquid concealer, a Pro Longwear, or I use Fenty sometimes, LA Girl, whatever you feel. I just recommend cream concealer if you feel like you don't have the full hang of sculpting your eyebrows, because I've definitely had a little mishap before and messed up my eyebrows. So I take the concealer on a flat brush, like a straight flat brush, and I literally just shape underneath the eyebrow. I now have like a reflex where I can kind of feel the shape of the eyebrow, even if I haven't filled it in that way. I can feel how my eyebrows supposed to be shaped, but just try to follow your natural arch of your eyebrow so it won't look like wonky. And then I just drag that down. And I do my concealer like this because I usually am using this as kind of like an eyeshadow base. So I'm not concerned about it matching my color exactly. If you don't plan on like blending it or doing the eyeshadow, definitely use something a little closer in your skin tone. But I always go like 2 shades lighter. And then I just take a blending brush and just kind of blend that down. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the top of this brow and on the other brow. And it's literally okay if you feel like you messed up. Literally, if my hand twitches or I feel like I didn't fill an area in enough, you just go back in and just straighten that line up, fill it in, cover that concealer, whatever it is. So you can fix things. It's not like all is not final. All right, y'all, so that is literally basically it. I'm gonna go finish my whole face. So I'll come back to you guys, but hopefully you guys have kind of seen my general aesthetic. This is the stage where you would kind of like either do any other steps you want to do, if you're using a setting gel to set your eyebrows, you want to set them with powder, anything like that. But let me do the finished look just so you guys can, you know, kind of see how the brows come together once I do eyeshadow base and set them and that kind of thing. And I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so here we go. These are how my brows came out. So I feel like they came out, they look pretty even, full, you know, like a big dark brow. So yeah, hopefully somewhere in here this guy's helped you. I know this has been requested a lot. So I hope this has helped you with some tips on maybe products to use or techniques to use in doing your brows and getting a nice good sculpted brow. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.